Good morning, YouTube. Well, I'm here to talk about Greenleaf, Season 2, Episode 9, Part 2. Part 1 was last night, so... Okay, so it opens up with Lady May is calling Mavis, her sister Mavis. We don't see Oprah. Of course, Oprah is her sister. We don't see her in this episode, but we hear her voice. So she's leaving a message on her machine, and she's inviting her for Mac's scattering of their brother Mac's ashes. She goes on to apologize to her for some behavior. She wants to get together with the family. Basically, Mavis is all she has left as far as family goes. Her father recently died, and now her brother is dead. And now it's just her and Mavis. All right, so the next scene is Darious. I think his name is Darious. I'm confused with two people. Either Grace's boyfriend's name is Darious, or Zora's boyfriend's name is Darious. No, Zora's boyfriend got another name, Isaiah. Okay, so Darious the reporter. There's a scene where she is sleeping over at his apartment, right, or his house. She spent the night there, but they did not sleep together. He slept on the couch. She comes out of the bedroom. I guess they still seeing each other. I thought they kind of broke up last time, but anyway, he tells her that he has got a job offer. There's a possibility he'll be moving to New York City, and she doesn't take it well. She didn't want him to go. She didn't say it, but it's obvious she doesn't want him to go. Then he brings up the story. So we've all been suspicious about Mr. Darious, I'm sure. What does he want? What is he after? He used to be an adjutant to cavalry. All of a sudden, he lost interest in writing stories about them and started dating the daughter. Gigi. Okay, he tells her that his editor, that he's got this job offer in New York City, I forget the name of it, but some big paper in New York. And he's considering it. And then he also tells her that he had agreed to not write about her or her family, her father, her family, nothing about Calvary, as long as they were seeing each other, right? He says, but the associate pastor just got murdered by the pastor's daughter. That's a big story, and his editor wants the story. And they leave that kind of hanging. He brings it up, though. She doesn't answer him right away. All right. Zora is working with kids. So, not Zora, Sophia, which is Grace's daughter, has taken an interest in ministry. And she's working with young people, children, telling them little Bible stories. So we're seeing her take an interest in ministry, right? Grace walks in on this situation, and she's pleased. Okay. Brother Jacob's the brother. All right. So I don't know if I went over this last time or not, but Jacob acquired this land that used to belong to basic skanks. He's acquired his land, and now he has to make use of it because he has no income, no job. He has the land, but that's it. So he decides to start a program on the land. So he's like opening a church without walls. I believe the church is called Real Church. He's opened a real church. There ain't no pews, nowhere to sit down. He's just on the land. And there are a few people who have come to hear him preach. He's modeling this after the way Christ preached. Of course, this infuriates his father because he's right across the street. I'm sure he thinks it's a little bit embarrassing. He's not in any way challenged by that, but it might be a little bit embarrassing. The pastor's son is across the street preaching in a vacant lot. Okay. They also feed there. So, and we want to get some people come. Here they come. They come for the free sandwiches. But I don't know how much revenue that would bring in. He's also got I think like a GoFundMe, try to raise money for this church. I guess the goal is to build a church eventually, but he's not willing to say that. He said he's raised money just to feed people, buy food and stuff. Okay. His father doesn't like it. He comes to one of his little sermons, pulls him aside, and tells him how displeased he is with this little project of his. Charity is still trying to find Kevin. Kevin has disappeared. Now, yesterday she had found this letter he left. She seemed devastated, but she hasn't said anything about her being concerned that he's killed himself. So I was thinking, oh, this must be one of these, homosexual kills himself because his life is so horrible kind of things. But he's just gone. She can't find him, and also his little friend, Aaron, can't find him. He won't answer his phone. He's unavailable, and he's packed up and left the church. The boxes have been packed in his office. Charity desperately wants him back because she got to take care of this baby. She was counting on him to help out with his child. And he said they would be co-parents. He's disappeared. Sophia tries to set him. Sophia knows that this man put his hands, Isaiah has put his hands on this girl, right? And she's made her promise. If you're going to hang out with me, you need to let him go. He's no good for you. And this girl is very hard-headed, Miss Zora. She's going to end up being an abused woman. Because even though he slapped her or pulled her to the side or threatened her or whatever, he's an abusive person. And she's obsessed with him. So Zora tries to set her up with another guy. They go out on a double date. Sophia tries to set Zora up with another guy. So Sophia and her boyfriend and this other guy on like a blind date, they all four go bowling together. Zora is extremely mean to this boy. She ain't feeling him. Too bad he's a good-looking guy. I mean, everybody's good-looking at that age. But looks ain't everything. He's not tickling her fancy. She's still obsessed with this boy who put his hands on her. So she's sneaking in and they're texting and things like that. Okay. Zora, okay. Okay, this is all right. So the drama starts now. Okay, we know that Bishop in the past has had affairs. That was intimated in first season. He's not a cheater now, but he's had affairs in the past, and I believe that he's even had something going with Mavis in the past. That could be part of the problem with the two sisters, Mavis and May. Anyway, this sexy young woman, she gives the church $10,000. Okay, and I'm going to predict something here. This woman comes out of the blue and gives the church $10,000, right? I guess they need the money. They keep talking about did the check clear? The check clear? So, I mean, he hasn't seen her, right? Apparently, this woman has lost her husband. She was married for 5 years to this man. She said, I never went to church all the time, and I feel like I owe him. So, out of her inheritance, she gives Calvary $10,000. So he goes to meet her. First, supposed to be her and his wife going to meet the girl, but circumstances ended where only he could go to the lunch to meet this woman. Go to the lunch, and she is young, sexy, and very interested in him. Now, I think this is bullshit. I'm just guessing here, but we never knew what the hell happened to Basie Skanks. Remember, he had this vendetta. He was supposed to bring the pastor down, right? And then he just Jacob gave him this deal, and then we ain't seen no more of him. Although when they show you the forwards, he's back in the picture. And I think this is how he's back in the picture. He out there leave that basic skank has sent this woman, this Trojan horse, to romance the bishop for his purposes. Only a guess. We'll see. But y'all give me my props now if it works out this way, because I have no other clue other than she's gorgeous and she's interested in him, and out of nowhere she gets 10,000, and she doesn't even want to join the church. Okay, she's like a Halle Berry as far as her appeal. She's a very, very sexy woman. He gets a little nervous because she's being flirtatious. So he recognizes he's in trouble, and so when she goes to the bathroom, he asks for the check, ends the lunch. All right, hold on a minute. Let me get it together. Okay, Gigi goes and asks Charity to come with her to visit Jacob, the 3 siblings. Charity's a little suspicious. Want to know what's it all about, and Gigi tells her that she wants to talk to him about what he's doing with this church meetings he's having across the street from Calvary. So they go to their house. Jacob and his wife. Is it Clarissa? I think it's Clarissa. This is her name. Anyway, so they go there. They have a nice lunch, and then they bring up this thing he's doing with the church. He's saying the church is all he got. He's got to work with what he has. She says that she has a... Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something first. First, they ask about Kevin. Apparently, this family doesn't talk that much, because I would think that a long time ago they would know what the situation was between them. But they kept it a secret. So they never knew why Kevin was gone or why they divorced. They went all the way through the divorce without them knowing what was going on. They all lived in the same house. Anyway, apparently they don't know, and she tells them that Kevin is gay. And then this boy, Jacob, said something I didn't particularly care for. He said, "Oh yeah, I don't blame you." And she said he's having a hard time or something. He didn't want to be gay, Charity says. And Jacob says, "I don't blame you. That's a hard life. What the hell's hard about it? They always gotta present. Ain't nothing hard about it, child. You know, hard in your life, raising kids, keeping a wife. You got plenty of problems in your own damn life." Anyway, we don't know what's going on with Kevin. Hopefully he's off somewhere, get him some skinny jeans off in the club. He's got to come to some kind of self-awareness and self-love. So maybe we'll get a surprise with Kevin, but for now he's missing. She's got an attitude of Charity's got an attitude about it because she has raised this boy all by herself, and she is stressed out about it. Okay. So then they go into this thing across the street. Gigi says, "Well, why don't you take my job?" She's an associate pastor. Somebody needs to do it. The family needs to stick together, right? And he says they don't know that his father's already told him that he's not interested in him working at the Calvary, period. His father still got an attitude about what he tried to pull with Wasted Skanks. Although he had attitude with him before that too. His father just has problems with sex with Jacob. I guess he still loves him. There's not a lot of tenderness between those two though. They're having issues like May with Grace usually. They've softened up May too, considerably. Not only towards Grace but towards everybody. She's a lot less devious a character so far in these 2 episodes. Anyway. So he says, "No, I'll never do it. I'll never go. No, you can't make me go." Okay, so he's saying no, he don't want her job. In the midst of this, Charity asks Grace, "What do you mean you want him to have your job? If he has your job, what are you going to do?" And then Grace tells them, "I don't know, maybe move to New York." Charity is not happy about that. But we have to return to that because they don't go off there at the table. But Charity's having a very hard time with this idea that Grace would leave the family again. Before, Grace was gone now for 20 years. That's a good part of this girl's life. She only, Anyway, I'll get back to that. They're going to have a confrontation about it. Okay. So when they get home, back to their house, which Grace and Charity both still live there, Charity's got an attitude. Grace asks her why, and she tells her, no uncertain terms, how dare you? You were gone for 20 years. We put in the time. Me and Jacob, we put in the time. There are many times we wanted to leave. But now it's your turn. So they have it out. She don't think she should leave. She thinks it's her time to stay there at Calvary, support the family, because she has her own plans. She wants to go off with this, writing the music back and forth to, they're not in Memphis. What's the other city? I forget. Memphis. I'm from Tennessee. My family's from Tennessee. I don't even remember half the cities there. Anyway, she has to go out back and forth out of town. And it's her turn to live. And she got to raise a baby now. So Charity's pretty much stressed out. Okay. Next thing we see is Aaron quits. Aaron's, he's kind of sweet, really. Aaron is, I won't say he's in love with Kevin, but he's still very concerned about Kevin. They did have sex, and as far as we know, that was the first time Kevin had sex. He had sex one time, and he done lost his mind, and he's missing. So he's trying to find him, and he tells Lady Mae that I'm leaving. And she begs him, practically, to stay. Arteta tells him to stay, that he must stay, and he says, no, I have to go. So he quits. Darious gets his wish because Grace tells him the whole story about what her and Matt and how she ended up killing him. We just see the very tail end of her telling the story. That I didn't intend to kill him. I wasn't the one to kill him. I didn't go there for that. He attacked me. He tried to kill me, and I killed him. So now we have to find out, is Darious, is this all he wanted was the story? So we have, more will be revealed with him. But he tells her, she asked him to have a one last meal before he leaves, and he tells her that he had decided not to leave. So we don't know if he's a good one or a bad one yet. It could be he's just playing her for this story. And now she's allowed it, so this is going to be in the paper. All she says is just let me give my parents some, if you print it, give me enough time to let my parents know before it hits. That's it. Family gathers, the last scene. Family gathers to spread Matt's ashes. Everybody shows up, including Grace. She shows up last. And they spread his ashes in a pond. And that's the end of the story. Okay? All right. See you guys next week.